Assalamualaikum and good morning to my respectful lecturer, Professor Dr. Muhammad Sazili Shahibi and my fellow classmates. My name is Nur Azizah binti Itnin, and as for today's presentation, my group members and I would like to present our multimedia presentation on fake news awareness. I hope all of you can pay close attention and listen to us attentively. Without further ado, I will firstly let my team members to introduce themselves before we start our presentation with an introduction of fake news awareness.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nurina Asila binti Basharuddin.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to my lecturer, Professor Dr. Muhammad Sazili Shahibi and my other classmate. My name is Nur Sakinah binti Zulkarnain. I'm from program IM657 Library Management.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Shakira Ilmi binti Saadun and I'm from program IM247 Resource Center Management.
Here is an introduction of fake news awareness. Did you know what is fake news? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, fake news is referring to the false story that appear to be news. Other than that, fake news also refers to false report or misinformation shared in shapes of article, image, or video. Fake news, also known as a sensational report designed to seek attention, mislead, deceive, and damage a reputation. Fake news can spread fast when it provides disinformation aligned with the audience view. This we can relate in our situation. During this pandemic COVID-19, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri mentioned 266 total investigation papers had been opened by the Royal Malaysian Police and the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) because of the spread of fake news.
0.0, I will explain objective of the study. The main purpose of this study is therefore to determine and identify the problems and difficulties faced by ministry and society. It is to ensure the society knows where this awareness leads to. Therefore, we need to ensure the message being delivered are transparently stated to ensure the objective of this awareness can be reached. First, to raise fake news awareness among the society. Second, to identify the impact of fake news awareness to our society. Third, to educate society of law related to fake news. 3.0, I will explain about types of fake news and tools used to spread fake news. The first point is manipulated content. Manipulated content is a false or misleading the use of information presented as news. It often has the aim of damaging the reputation of person or entity or making money through advertising revenue. It is known that they create the fake news about something viral and manipulate the content and misleading the content to society. Second point is propaganda. Propaganda is when containing fabrication and packaged as a legitimate news story. The sources is probably aware that the story is false. It is depends on how heavily on the clickbait. It is also known as the agenda of someone try to do a propaganda on the false information. After that, third point is misleading information. Misleading information is when someone is misleading the use of information to frame an issue or individual. It can make society misunderstanding about the news or information that spread. The last point type of fake news is false connection. False connection is when someone create the headlines, visuals or captions that doesn't support the content. Now, I would like to state the tools that used to spread fake news. First, by using WhatsApp. Second, Facebook. Third, Instagram. And lastly, Twitter. This is the most commonly tools that used to spread the fake news.
Tolong cek kesahihan sebelum sebarkan berita palsu. Saya sendiri pun menjadi mangsa kepada penyebaran berita palsu. Di berita palsu yang disebarkan tentang saya.
Now, let's move on to our next point, which is laws related to fake news offence. Malaysia made it a crime to share misinformation in early April 2018, making it as the first Southeast Asian country to do so. Therefore, anyone who has been accused of committing fake news offence can be charged with and/or these three laws. Firstly is the Penal Code Act 574, which covers a very broad range of offences. It was enacted on January 1st, 1935, and the Act consists of 23 chapters and 511 sections. However, for the following offence of defamation, whoever by words, either spoken or intended to be read or by sign, or by visible representation, makes or publish any imputation concerning any person, intending to harm, or knowing or having reason to believe that such imputation will harm the reputation, and shall also be liable to fine of such person, is said, except in the cases hereinafter accepted, to defame that person will be penalized with imprisonment for up to 2 years. Moreover, for further provision, criminalize intentional insult with intent to provoke a breach of the peace, which is punishable with imprisonment for up to 2 years, and the publication or circulation of any statement, rumour, or report. Firstly, with intent to cause or which is likely to cause fear or alarm to the public or to any section of the public whereby any person may be induced to commit an offence against the state or against the public tranquility. Or secondly, with intent to incite or which is likely to incite any class or community of person to commit any offence against any other class or community of person. Now, let's move on to the second law, which is the Printing Presses and Publication Act 1984. This is an act to regulate the use of printing presses and the printing, importation, production, reproduction, publishing and distribution of publication, and for matters connected therewith. It was enacted in September 1st, 1984 by the Seri Paduka Baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong with the advice and consent of the Dewan Negara and Dewan Rakyat in Parliament assembled. The Printing Presses and Publication Act 1984 requires the licensing of persons who use a printing press and prohibits the use of printing press for unlawful purposes, including producing any publication or document which contain an incitement to violence against person or property, counsel disobedience to the law or to any lawful order, or which is or is likely to lead to a breach of the peace, or to promote feeling of ill will, hostility, enmity, hatred, disharmony, or disunity. the relevant government minister also has the absolute discretion to prohibit the printing, importation, sale, distribution, or possession of a publication that contains anything that is or is likely to be prejudicial to public order, morality, security, or which is likely to alarm public opinion, or which is or is likely to be prejudicial to public interest or national interest. Furthermore, Section 8A of the Act provides, where in any publication there is maliciously published any false news, the printer, publisher, editor, and the writer thereof shall be guilty of an offence and shall, on conviction, be liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years or to a fine not exceeding 20,000 ringgit. Finally, the third law that can be used against anyone who is accused of committing fake news offences is the Communication and Multimedia Act 1998. This is an act to provide for the establishment of the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission with powers to supervise and regulate the communication and multimedia activities in Malaysia, and to enforce the communication and multimedia laws of Malaysia and for related matters. For your information, it was enacted in November 1st, 1998 by the Seri Paduka Baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong with the advice and consents of the Dewan Negara and Dewan Rakyat in Parliament Assemble. In Section 233 of the Communication and Multimedia Act 1998 stated, a person who by means of any network facilities or network service or application service knowingly, firstly, makes, creates or solicits, and secondly, initiates the transmission of any comment, request, suggestion, or other communication which is absent, indecent, false, menacing, or offensive in character with intent to annoy, abuse, threaten, or harass another person, or initiate a communication using any application service, whether continuously, repeatedly, or otherwise, during which communication may or may not ensure, with or without disclosing his identity and with intent to annoy, abuse, threaten, or harass any person at any numbers of electronic address, commits an offence will be penalty under this provision with a fine of up to 50,000 ringgit or imprisonment for up to 1 year or both, with a further fine of 1,000 ringgit applying for every day that the offence is continued after conviction.
Thank you to Nur Aziza for your explanation. At this point, we will discuss about the impact that can be obtained from this multimedia presentation. For the major impact that can be obtained from the multimedia presentation is society can acquire new information and knowledge about the fake news. Did you know the number of fake news is currently on the rise in Malaysia due to advancements of technology? How does technology contribute to the increasing number of fake news? In June 2019, a study was conducted by Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism at Oxford University when 75,000 respondents participated in this study to indicate the level of agreement on concern over fake news has decreased global trust in media. The study involved 38 countries and Malaysia was in 10th place with 64% vote, where the public has raised concern about misinformation in this country.
Just for looking at the statistic, we can indicate that fake news is undeniable, a concerning problem that needs to be controlled and handled effectively. Hence, with our sharing of fake news awareness in the multimedia format, we believe the society of all age can easily comprehend the input and information that are being delivered. By using interactive and intriguing element in our presentation, we reckon it will be able to attract more people to watch it, and they can also gather new and interesting information regarding fake news awareness. Next, for the second major impact is they can identify type of fake news that are commonly used to spread fake news. There are various types of fake news. The most common ones are including satire, viral posts, targeted misinformation, and fake headline. For the political satire is the most familiar form of scone where editorial cartoon, comedic news show, or even website are created to ridicule someone. The next viral posts are usually referring to the news article and content posts on social media network without the initiative to check for authenticity and genuineness, where it could lead to misinformation and other consequences. However, targeted misinformation come in any form of fictitious information directed to a specific group of people for self-serving interest. Those who are most likely to susceptible to receiving this kind of targeted misinformation are the ones who can be easily deceived. Fake headline are typically made by less credible publication to generate society attention. Writing fake headlines or clickbait is one of the ways of deceiving society to read the article written by this tabloid newspaper with the purpose to generate more view, like, and interaction. So, we believe by watching our multimedia presentation, people will be able to recognize the other type of fake news together with the example to ensure that people can fully comprehend everything related to the fake news. Lastly, the third and last impact of our fake news multimedia presentation is society will be aware of Malaysian law that is related to the spreading of fake news. As we are all aware, spreading fake news is serious offence because it will lead to many consequences. According to our Minister of Communication and Multimedia, any offences related to the spreading of fake news and on social media should be charged under Malaysia's existing law. For example, the law is Penal Code Act 574.
Next, let's move to our last slide, which is the conclusion. In conclusion, fake news could be defined as false information that is able to share through various social media platforms such as WhatsApp, Telegram, Twitter, Instagram, and others. It is undeniable that certain people nowadays like to share this fake news without checking or investigating the legality of or the truth of the information that they receive and irresponsibly share the false statement to other people, and as a result causing the news to be spread widely across the country. It is to be noted that the news that these people receive is shared deliberately to confuse the reader, or they may even be published as a clickbait for economic reward, if the writer profit on the number of people who click on the story. With the emergence of this online era, this fake news has spread very quickly and rapidly, as everything is now at our fingertips. In addition, it is worth noting that during this COVID-19 pandemic, Information concerning COVID-19 has transmitted very quickly online, and this might bring adverse effect to the whole world if the information shared is wrong or misleading, as there may be people who believe or rely on this fake news. Therefore, not only the public should be aware of the issue, the rightful authorities should also take the necessary steps to control the spreading of this fake news in order to prevent any further problems that may worsen the situation. In this regard, one should ponder whether their action to disclose a certain information is merely to attract the public attention or whether it's been disclosed in view of public's interest. Every individual should first think before sharing any information online, as sharing information responsibility and ethically will really help to bring the right information to the public, and this will also benefit the individual and the country as a whole. Hence, it is vital to ensure that any information shall be shared in a socially responsible manner in order to maintain the public trust and to curb any misunderstanding in the society concerning this issue. That's all from us. We hope you guys enjoy our video presentation and can get knowledge regarding fake news awareness. Thank you for our lecturer, Professor Dr. Sazili, and our fellow classmates.